This Song Surgeon training video will be on the use of the PT algorithms, which is this toggle button right here, as well as the tuning area on Song Surgeon located right below it. So let's deal with these one at a time. First of all, the PT toggle button is for two different algorithms. We call them for short performance, which is P, and T, which is transcribe. So if you're going to be making smaller changes in key or tempo, you would want to use the P algorithm because it gives you the best quality at that setting. If you're going to be making significant changes, 50% change in tempo or even greater, you want to use the T algorithm because it will give you better quality down at those lower tempos. So that's really the main difference between these two. A couple of other things that you do need to know about them though. First of all, the T, or the transcribe algorithm as we call it, is much more CPU and memory intensive. So if you have an older computer, if you have a Vista computer, if you have a computer that's low on memory or has a small amount of memory, you should probably use the P algorithm because it will run with a lot less requirements from your system resources, and especially if you're hearing some stuttering, as we like to call it, the stopping and starting of a song playing as you do playback, definitely try this P algorithm because it will reduce your CPU requirements and it may help you with that issue. The other thing that I need to point out is that the P algorithm, when it's selected, allows you to do something called format preservation down here in the pitch or key area. Now, I'm not going to tell you what that is because it's really the subject of something different, but just know that if you have transcribe turned on, as I do now, you go down here, you'll notice that the format preservation, this red button, is now grayed out and it's not functional, so just keep that in mind. The last thing that I want to speak about here is this area which is new in Song Surgeon version 4 called tuning. Now by default it's set to 440 or 440 hertz, which is to say that this is the default tuning used in almost all contemporary music in the United States as well as across the world. And most of you probably will not need to change this, but there are some number of people who like to use different types of tunings that were in effect before this standard was set up. And certainly as we go back hundreds of years down back to the time where we had the classical masters and the Baroque masters, they used something else, which is probably 432, which is called Verdi tuning. So what you can see here is that by simply clicking on this black box with the text in it, you will alternate between different tunings. In this case, 432. I've loaded. If I click it again, it goes back to 440, which again is the default tuning. You keep clicking it, you can see we just switch from one to the next to the next. What you need to know is that with whatever tuning you have selected, Song Surgeon will operate at that tuning. So if you've got 440 selected, by default, everything that you do will be in the contemporary tuning we have today. But if you change this to Verdi tuning, 432, then it will play back at 432. It will sound slightly lower, in other words. And not only that, but if you change key or tempo, I'm sorry, I should say if you change key, it will change key, but it will change key with reference to the tuning at 432. So if you increase it by a half a step, it's going to sound different than if you increase the tuning at 440 by a half a step. So everything that you do, if you select an alternate tuning besides 440, is going to be the default tuning, and everything will be tuned in accordance with that as the standard. That will conclude this video tutorial on the PT algorithm button as well as the tunings section of Song Surgeon version 4.